Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Let's Play Forge. We have done a challenge in the last video in which I ended up winning, which is quite a rarity because I'm really bad at challenges from my experience. Now we can just relax. We have a win streak of 7 right now, and our previous best win streak was also at 7. So right now, if we win once more, we will increase our win streak by 1 and we will beat our previous record. So let's try to do that. I'm not going to cherry pick an opponent, I'm just going to go for a random opponent just to prove that I can. Okay, so I'm going second. I'm playing against Hasdur the Abbot. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let's just keep our current hand and let's move on. So Hasdur the Abbot field put down a plains card and he immediately cast a sorcery called Prophecy, which does reveal the top card of target opponent's library to all players. If it is a land, gain 1 life. That opponent then shuffles his or her library. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Okay, so he gets to look at the top of my library, which is indeed a forest card. So that means he gains 1 life. Interesting. Let's put down a forest card and let's move on. Now he summons a Mesa Falcon, which is a 1/1 Falcon creature with flying and with the ability of by paying 1 white mana and 1 other mana, it gets +0/+1 until the end of turn. Interesting. Okay, nothing we can do at this point, so let's just move on. He will attack us with his Mesa Falcon, which will do 1 damage to me. And he also summoned Seraya the Falconer, which is a 2/2 legend creature, which does all falcons get +1/+1. And by paying 1 white mana and 1 other mana, target falcon gains banding until the end of turn. What does banding even mean? It doesn't say. But now Mesa Falcon is at 2/2 because of the 1/1 from Soraya the Falconer, which I quite dislike. Let's move on. I can't do anything yet either, so let's end our turn again. He will attack us with both Mesa Falcon and Soraya the Falconer, so he does 4 damage in total to me. And now he also summoned Serra Paladin, which is a 2/2 paladin creature which has the ability of, by tapping it, prevent 1 damage to any creature or player, and by tapping it and paying 2 white mana and 1 other mana, attacking does not cause target creature to tap this turn. Interesting. Let's put down another forest card, and finally we have enough forest cards on our side of the field to be able to summon a giant spider to defend ourselves with. Giant spider is a 2/4 spider creature which has reach, which means that this creature can block creatures with flying, which is quite handy because he has a Mesa Falcon which has flying. He summons an Abbey Gargoyles, which is a 3/4 a gargoyles creature with flying and protection from red. Okay, I don't know what that means, but protection from red won't do him much good because I have no red cards in my library at all. I only have green cards in my library right now. Let's summon a Query Hauler, which is a 4/3 camel creature which has, when Query Hauler enters the battlefield, for each kind of counter on target permanent, put another counter of that kind on it or remove 1 from it. I don't have any counters in mind right now which I want to manipulate, so let's not use that ability. He used the prophecy once again to look at the top of my library to gain another life if it were a land, but the top of my library right now is Resilient Kenra, so that since that is not a land, he won't get 1 extra life. Now he casts Serrated Arrows, which is an artifact which has the ability of when Serrated Arrows comes into play, put 3 arrowhead counters on it. During your upkeep, bury Serrated Arrows if there are no arrowhead counters on it. And for tapping, remove an arrowhead counter from Serrated Arrows to put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Okay, so he did that with my Query Hauler to push it to 3/2, and now he uses a Prophecy once again to look at the type of... Oh no, I think that was just Prophecy proccing. Never mind. So now we have enough forest creatures, forest cards, sorry, on my side of the field to be able to summon a Bramblewave Behemoth, which is a 6/6 elemental creature with trample, which I really like. So now he uses his Serrated Arrows to put a -1/-1 counter on my Bramblewave Behemoth, so from 6/6 he went down to 5/5, which is annoying. Okay, let's see how we're going to handle this. Let's summon a Colossal Dreadmaw, which is also a 6/6 creature, dinosaur creature, which has trample. I really like the big cards in this game, like the ones that have a lot of toughness and power. Now let's do damage to him using Bramblewave Behemoth, shall we? He uses the ability from his Serra Paladin to prevent 1 damage from the attack of my Bramblewave Behemoth. So the 5 attack I'm attacking him with will be reduced to 4 attack, which is annoying, but it is what it is. And finally, he uses the Lacerated Arrow to target my Colossal Dreadmaw, which I'm annoyed by. And he finally summons an Ebony Rhino, which is a 4/5 artifact creature with trample on it. Let's finally summon Sifter Worm, which is a 7/7 worm creature which has trample, and with the ability of when Sifter Worm enters the battlefield, scry free, then reveal the top card of your library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost, which I really like. So let's use this to our advantage. Scry free means that I get to rearrange the top 3 cards of my library, which are these 3: Sifter Worm, Shepherd Monitor, and Query Hauler, in this exact order. I can rearrange them to any order I want, and also push them to the bottom, any one of them to the bottom of my library. But I don't want to do that for the moment, and I will leave Sifter Worm at the top of my library because he has the highest converted mana cost of 7, because it costs 5 mana and 2 green mana to summon, and 5 + 2 is 7. So yeah, because of the 7 converted mana cost of Sifter Worm, which is the top of my library right now, I get to be healed by 7 points to my life, which is nice. And now finally, let's attack him with our Bramblewave Behemoth and with our Colossal Dreadmaw, which makes sense. So he will block me with his Ebony Rhino. Specifically, he will block my wait. He will block my Bramblewave Behemoth with both his Ebony Rhino and his Mesa Falcon. Okay, so now I have to choose the order in which I do damage from my Bramblewave Behemoth to both of them. Since Bramblewave Behemoth right now has 5 power due to the 1/1 counter on it, I will prioritize doing damage to Ebony Rhino because Ebony Rhino has 5 toughness. 5 power will be enough to deplete all of his 5 toughness, so it will be enough to kill Ebony Rhino. So let's do that. Ah, and now he uses Serra Paladin's ability to reduce 1 damage from my Bramble Wave to Behemoth, which might be enough to prevent his Ebony Rhino from dying. But I will use... I can't use Ambuscade because I have no more mana. But no, he did not prevent his Ebony Rhino from dying though, so that was cool. Let's cast... yeah, let's not do that. Let's move on. Okay, he summons a second Ebony Rhino, which is fine. Let's, on our side of the field, let's summon a second Sifter Womb then. And with this, yeah, let's leave Shepherd Monitor at the top of our library, and we will get healed for another 7 points. So now we're up to 28 life, which I really like. Now let's attack him with Query Hauler, Colossal Dreadmaw, and Sifter Worm. All 3 of them. Because I really feel like it. So he will block our Colossal Dreadmaw with both an Ebony Rhino and a Mesa Falcon. So we have to choose how we do the damage order for these two. Mesa Falcon has 2/2. Ebony Rhino has 4/5. But Ebony Rhino also has Trample, whereas Mesa Falcon has Flying. Since we're talking about Colossal Dreadmaw, let's focus on Ebony Rhino for now. And try to kill it. Okay, so we destroyed another one of his Ebony Rhinos. He summons a second Mesa Falcon. Now we will summon a Shepherd Monitor, which is a 6/5 lizard creature which has cycling for 1 green mana and 3 other mana. So cycling means that we get to discard it while it is in our hand to draw a different card. And also when you cycle, it also has the ability of when you cycle Shepherd Monitor, you may search your library for a basic land card or a desert card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. But do this before you draw. Let's summon this Shepherd Monitor instead of cycling it. And now let's attack him with both our Sifter Worms. So he will block me with literally every creature which he has, and he uses Soraya the Falconer, Abbey Gargoyles, and Mesa Falcon to do damage to block just one of my Sifter Worms. Now, which damage order I want to attack him in? I guess it would have to be Abbey Gargoyles, because that's the most powerful creature in his inventory, and then Soraya the Falconer, and then finally Mesa Falcon. So let's do it in exactly this order. And now we just wiped out his entire field. So now he casts an Ison Bureaucrats, which is a 1/1 Bureaucrats creature, which has the ability of by tapping, tap target creature with power no greater than 2. Okay. Yeah, this is already one. Let's just end this. I'll just Alpha Strike him with everything I have. He will block me with his Ice and Bureaucrats, but that won't be enough to stop him. Or stop me. So we defeated him. We removed an Ebony Rhino from his deck, which I'm really grateful for. Let's move on. Okay, let's... So we will be going second because we won the previous round. I'm happy with this current hand, so I'll keep it. Let's move on. So now he casts an Eyes and Bureaucrats again. I'm not particularly worried about this card, honestly. Let's summon a Feral Prowler on our side of the field, which is a 1/3 cat creature with the ability of when Feral Prowler dies, draw a card. He uses Eisen Bureaucrat's ability by tapping it to probably tap our Feral Prowler. Yes, he did. So that we may not attack him with it during this turn. So, because he did that, we will summon a Bitterblade Warrior, which is a 2/2 Jackal Warrior creature, which has the ability of you may exert Bitterblade Warrior as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until the end of turn. If you forgot, an exerted creature is a creature which won't untap during my next untap step. So that's annoying. But it also has its advantages. So let's summon Bitterblade Warrior. There we go. Now he summons an Alchemist, which is a 0/2 Alchemist creature, which has the ability of, by paying 2 white mana and tapping it, prevent up to 4 damage to a creature you control. Tap that creature. The creature does not untap during your next untap phase. Interesting. So now, let's let's cast Ambuscade on our Bitterblade Warrior to do damage to his Samite Alchemist. So Ambuscade is an instant which has the effect of target creature you control gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So let's have our Bitterblade Warrior attack his Samite Alchemist. And now let's just Alpha Strike him with our Feral Prowler. He will use Eisen Bureaucrats to... No, he will summon a Mesa Falcon. Okay. Now let's summon a Prowling Serpopard, which is a 4/3 cat snake creature with Prowling Serpopard cannot be countered, and creature spells you control cannot be countered either. Okay. And now let's just Alpha Strike him, and I will also exert Bitterblade Warrior while attacking. He will block us with his Mesa Falcon, and he blocks Feral Prowler specifically, which I don't mind. He now pays 1 white mana and 1 other mana to give Mesa Falcon +0/+1 until the end of turn. Okay, so Mesa Falcon will survive that battle. Now he attacks me with his Mesa Falcon. And now he casts Serrated Arrows to put a -1/-1 counter on my Prowling Serpopard. Interesting. Let's summon a Query Howler, which is a 4/3 camel creature, which has the ability of when Query Howler enters the battlefield, for each kind of counter on target permanent, put another counter of that kind on it or remove one from it. I will use this to remove the -1/-1 counter from Prowling Serpopard, which was put on it due to Serrated Arrows. So let's do that. Remove counter. And now let's attack him with our Prowling Serpopard. So now he uses his Serrated Arrows to put a -1/-1 counter on my Query Howler. And he casts Prophecy to look at the top of my library to see if it's a land card and gain 1 life if it is. But since the top of my library is Bramblewave Behemoth, that won't work on him. Now he's attacking me with Mesa Falcon, which is quite annoying. Let's put down another forest card, and now let's Alpha Strike him. Now he's down to 4 life. He casts another Prophecy to look at the top of my library, but that didn't do him much good. And now finally he summoned a Rotoraptor, which is a 0/2 artifact creature with flying and which has the ability of, by paying 2 mana, it gets +1/+0 until the end of turn. You cannot spend more than 4 mana in this way to each turn. Now with everything that we have, we can summon Sifter Worm, which is a 7/7 worm creature which has trample and with the ability of when Sifter Worm enters the battlefield, scry free, then reveal the top card of your library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. So let's summon this one. And now since we summoned Sifter Worm, we get to scry free, which means that we can rearrange the top 3 cards of our library in any order that we want and push whichever cards we want from this to the bottom of my library if that's what I want, but I don't really want to do this. Or anywhere in my library really. Let's move Greater Sandworm to the very top of my library, because Greater Sandworm has a converted mana cost of 7. Because it costs 2 green mana and 5 other mana to summon, so 2 + 5 is 7. And because Sifter Worm's ability says that it will heal me for the amount of the converted mana cost of the top card of my library after I scry free, then I want to put whichever card has the greatest converted mana cost to the top of my library, so I get healed by the greatest amount. Since Greater Sandworm has a converted mana cost of 7, that means I will get healed by 7 points after this scry free. So yeah, there we go. We went from 17 life to 24 life. Now let's attack him with basically everything we have, literally. He will try to block us, that won't do him much good. He summons an Ebony Rhino, but that just won't help him at all. We will Alpha Strike him. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, we already won. That's it for today's video. As we won, we got from his deck a Knights and Bureaucrats card as a reward. As well as on Koskun Falls, which is a random rare card. It's an Enchant World card that costs 2 black mana and 2 other mana to cast, and which has the effect of during your upkeep, tap target untapped creature you control or bury Koskun Falls. No creature can attack you unless its controller pays an additional 2 mana whenever that creature attacks. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, that's it for today's video. We increased our win streak from 7 to 8, so now our best win streak is also at 8. So that was quite cool. Thank you very much for watching. I have a Mastodon account as well as a Matrix room that you can join if you want to get in contact with me, details of which you can find in the description of this video. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.